it would be raining in Miami, so we have to be careful about it. It's a very different track, but we know what to do now. We have raced in a wet race in Miami. Now we know what to do. Our fifth race is Belgium. Again, a dry race. Then we are visiting Suzuka in Japan, where we have 25% of raining, and as always, we will see both possibilities. The seventh track, Silverstone in the United Kingdom, dry race again, very good conditions. And finally, Monza in Italy with 33% of raining. We can easily choose this strategy. And oh, give me 1 minute. Excuse me for this. Okay, we can use this strategy: one pit stop, medium tires. Street Shark is the best choice because, as we always say, uh, in these kind of tracks, if we want to go only for one pit stop and use medium tires, we need boosting in our tire management. This is why, as you can see, Street Shark is an excellent boost. And by the way, next week, where is the when it's the Australian Grand Prix, um, Street Shark is going to be the boost of the week, and yeah, count me in for getting some, because this is the only fast boost with tire management, with good tire management, and it is very useful uh, for strategies like this, and it would be very useful at the beginning of the next season, because we won't have drivers with very good tire management. Street Shark would be extremely useful, so keep that in mind and get ready for the new season. Yes, that's it for Austin. Let's go Saudi Arabia. I think we have all seen what speed can do in this track. Sector number one, not the fastest, probably the slowest sector of the track. Sector number two, it's lots of open corners, lots of fast corners, very good opportunities to overtake. Well, in Jeddah, you can overtake almost everywhere. Um, Mainly sectors 2 and 3 are the best sectors to overtake, and the yellow sector, sector number 3, probably not probably the fastest sector of this track. You can go full speed and overtake whoever is in front of you. So let's see our tactics. Nothing changed since last week, since last the last GP. Three pit stops, four stints, all with a soft compound, and we want boosts that uh, gives us speed and fuel management. Our first two choices are this: speed and fuel management, and then we can decide what else we want from our boosts. What will be the third uh, factor that is going to be boosted attribute, and 3 laps again with a medium compound, and then 2 laps with a soft compound. You can easily go 3-2-3. Maybe you can, if you want to do the undercut, 2-3-3, but it doesn't change anything. It's medium for the stints with the 3 laps, and soft for the stint with uh, with the two laps. Street Shark, the best choice again here because we need a lot of tire management. Alternatively, we can use Deadfast or Lumberjack. And let's see, Lumberjacks. So, in the middle and in the back of the pack, Herald, Vice, or Firework. If you are in front of the pack, if you are at the top of the grid, then uh, you can do this with softs, but not this 5-4. We're going 4-5, soft and medium. Then, if you want to go with one pit stop, okay, and for our second driver, 4-5 downforce, Nazar, Eagle. We want, let's see Nazar. We haven't se- so Nazar for a long time. So two in tire management and four in grip, useful in Austria. But mostly, if you want to go to approach this with grip and corners, downforce and eagle are the best two choices. We want tire boosting to do 4-5, especially the second stint, 5 laps. If we want to be able to push at the end, we need a lot of tire management, not just a little. Now, this is how we do the fastest lap, and this is how we can approach this. We can race in this track when we are at the top of the grid. Firework Vice 333. Firework for driver number one, Vice for driver number two, and 333 with a soft compound. As I told you, you can do it 4-5, soft and medium, again with the same boosts, but in the second stint with 5 laps, you must be very careful. You must go on the grid, on the green, with the green button a lot. If you don't like me, to push the green button, then this is the way to go. Firework and Vice to both your drivers and to pit stops. Of course, try to avoid stacking. This is the main trouble, the main issue if you use the same tactic. And this is another approach, not to do the fastest lap, but if you want to go with the softest compound, with the soft compound, and uh, push a lot, you can choose wood, where we have 3 in corners, 1 in grip. What we want from our boost in this track, but because wood doesn't have tire management, we need to go 2 pit stops. So we go with a soft compound, and lucky for us, 5 in pit times for wood. So maybe we can minimize the damage from the extra pit stop. This is a very good strategy. It's fast. It's not if you are at the top of the grid, because there we are chasing mainly, but 100% rain this time. So what we're going to do? Okay, one thought is going for 3 pit stops like we do in a dry race. Hex and exception, the two best choices for this track and for this strategy. But as we raced in Miami last week with wet conditions, and we saw that with the wet compound we can do 3 laps without having a boost that gives us tire management, and we can push a lot. This means the best choice for a rainy Miami is hex and exception 332. And if for both our drivers. But if we like to see, to avoid stacking, and we're afraid that we are not going to avoid it if we do the same strategy: 3-3-2 for your first driver, 2-3-3 for your second driver, and there you go. But mainly 3-3-2, if you can do it for both of your drivers, no matter where you are in the grid. And finally, we have an alternative: Frost Dragon 4-4, only one pit stop. Haven't tried it, don't like it so much, but I can listen to you guys that when you say that you uh, want to try something different. This is something different, but I believe it's not the fastest. Um, it's not the fastest strategy you can follow. For me, this is a must. This is how we want to race in a rainy Miami. Okay, Belgium. As you can see, sector one is the fastest sector, with the two straights. In the middle, there is a very fast corner. I think it's corner. In Belgium, this is the way to go if we are at the bottom of the grid. 3-3 with hards. If it's hards, then dead fast, lumberjack uh, are very good choices. We're going to go fast in the first sector, and because of the one that dead fast and lumberjack have, as you can see here, um, that they have in tire management, we will be able to push a little bit more, but don't expect miracles. It's a difficult one. Here, if you are at the back, alternatively, medium compound street shark, which gives us a little bit more tire management, so we can push, because mediums uh, in drivers at the top level will just be enough to do the 3 laps. We cannot push. With street shark, we will have the ability to push and try to overtake other cars. Eternal flame is useful here. Let's see it, because of the tire management and the overtaking, that maybe we will find it helpful uh, in the few spots we can overtake uh, our opponents. And finally, there is this strategy. I have tried it once, didn't succeed, but I have read a lot of comments from other players who say that they have tried this strategy and it was successful. So, two pit stops, but it's an undercut. One lap with the first lap, the first stint with a soft compound, then you pit. You get on with hard compound, 3 laps with Taurus. This means you are pushing too much, like hell, in your second stint, and then you get in for your last pit stop, your last stint, 2 laps with the soft compound. This is a strategy. I have tried this strategy when I was P7, P8. We have the proper tire management boosting from Taurus and Eagle, so we can choose the faster compounds. You can easily go 3-4 with Taurus. So good, 5 in corners, that makes it very useful even when we don't need overtaking. And of course, don't forget that there is some fuel use from Skull, so it will give us the opportunity to push a little bit more. And Of course, this is if it's a dry race. If it's a wet one, not many things to see here. I think it's a no-brainer. 4-3 for one driver, 3-4 for the other driver, and tune in the best choice for the one driver, and Tsar for me the best choice for the second driver. Let's see a little bit. Let's see. Tsar. Here we are. Four in corners, three in tire management. Okay, not so needed here, but three in wetness and mainly four in corners, which is absolutely what we want from our boost in this track. Um, of course, if you want to go a little bit fast, and you can use hex, but okay, even even I am doubting the usefulness of hex in this track. Tsar and Tunin for me, 4-3 with Tunin and 3-4 with Tsar. As you can see, it's the same strategy, same boosts, uh, just opposite stints. And I think that's how we are going to approach a wet race in Japan. Okay, Silverstone. I think we have succeeded a lot in Silverstone, so we are a little bit. They are going to have 99% the hard compound. If they have the medium compound, they will run out of tire before the end of the race, so we can overtake them at the final lap too. Finally, Monza, where we might have rain, so we're going to see both. We like Monza to go fast and furious in Monza. So the undercut, if you are in the middle or at the back of the pack, of course. But this is a strategy where you can use if you start at the top of the grid, because we start with a soft compound. So soft, medium, medium, 2, 3, 3, dead fast, hex, eclipse, firework, again, gladiator, lumberjack. You know how it goes, and we will see an alternative to this in a while. So, okay, didn't go to the. For our second driver, 3-3-2. If we're in the middle of the pack, not at the back of the pack, this is the way to go. 3-3-2, medium, medium, soft. Again, the same boosts. Now, here is an alternative. Again, 3-3-2. This is a very good choice if we can go dead fast and 2-3-3, soft, medium, medium for our first driver, and for our second driver, if he's at the top of the grid, 2, P2, P3, P4, P5, then soft, 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 3-3-2, but with street shark, so we have the ability to push with the soft compound. Dead fast would be a little bit marginal here. We won't be able to push a lot. Street Shark is the best choice for this strategy. Now, finally, if you are at the back of the grid, your driver is P15, P16, P14, P17, then 4-4 mediums, and now you can choose Street Shark if you want to go fast, downforce if you want to be fast on the curves, on the corners. It's up to you to decide where you want to be fast on the straights or on the curves. So now, if it rains, of course, 2-3-3 hex an exception, a pretty, I think, an acceptable choice here um, for our driver, and it's exactly the same for our second driver, 3-3-2, um, and hex and exception, but there is a good alternative, a very good alternative, I might say, 4-4 with 4-4 with Frost, Dragon, or Hex. Frost and Dragon, it would be my choices. Maybe Char, but uh, this would be better if we start um, at the back of the grid or in the middle of the grid. If we're at the top of the grid, I think the previous strategies are better, are faster, uh, and what we would like to choose to go with. And I want to say this mainly when the main thing about these strategies, and I think yes, we are okay. We are okay with this. So the main thing with these strategies is that I'm always thinking um, not only if we have a bot as an opponent, but if you have used the some of the strategies to tell us um, what happened, how did it go, if we need to change something, if it worked perfectly, just fine, because your feedback is very important for every one of us to get better. So and of course, the comment section is open to all of you to give us your suggestions, strategies that probably I have never thought about. So I'm waiting. Uh, Subscribe to the channel. Of course, press the little bell so you get notified when we are upload when I upload a new video and when I'm live streaming my GP